Bramblebottom was the sort of sleepy English village where time had politely asked to be left alone. The most exciting thing to happen in the last decade was when the post office accidentally ordered 200 tins of cat food labeled for emotional support, cats only. But all of that changed one fateful Thursday morning. It was 9:03 a.m. The air smelled faintly of scones and garden manure. Birds chirped, bees buzzed. Mrs. Elspeth Trotter attempted online banking, and the Wi-Fi went out. It began, as disasters often do, with a blinking router light and a scream that shattered the silence. "My internet!" Elspeth bellowed from her conservatory. "It's gone offline. I was mid-transfer. I could be arrested." No one was sure why she thought HSBC would call the police, but she once tried to bribe a lollipop lady with rhubarb, so her grip on legal nuance was questionable. Across the village, chaos unfurled like a poorly rolled carpet. Nigel Clump, who ran the local DIY shop, nailed it, couldn't stream his morning vlog about types of nails. Brenda Higglesworth, queen of the WhatsApp gossip chain, lost contact with her 14 chat groups and had to resort to binoculars and shouting. And young Daphne, a teenager tragically afflicted with dial-up era parents, was mid-TikTok dance when her feed froze mid-twirl. She held the pose for 12 minutes, convinced it might reconnect via interpretive motion. Soon, a crowd began to gather outside the village hall. It started with Brenda, who naturally assumed this was sabotage. "This has Russia written all over it," she muttered darkly, though her only source was a Netflix spy series and her own paranoia. Nigel appeared with his emergency folding chair and portable speaker. "Don't panic," he said, "but I've brought charts." He had not been invited to speak, but Nigel was the kind of man who narrated his dreams aloud while shopping for beans. By 11 a.m., the entire village was in uproar. The only functioning internet appeared to be at the pub, the Drunken Duck, where landlord Barry had forgotten to pay his bills, meaning the disconnected disconnection had spared him. Barry saw a business opportunity and promptly announced a Wi-Fi rental fee, 1 pint per hour, or 2 pork pies per 3 logins. Nobody questioned the maths. It was Barry. He once used gravy as hair gel. The villagers began bartering like it was the end times. Scones were traded for megabytes, passwords whispered in hedgerows. At one point, Elspeth tried to offer up her husband's limited edition thimble collection in exchange for a YouTube video about sourdough. Daphne had set up a digital refugee corner in the beer garden with charging cables and a sign that read, "Influencer in crisis, please don't touch the ring light." At 2:15 p.m., the parish council called an emergency meeting. Well, it wasn't so much called as aggressively suggested via handwritten notes hand-delivered by Dennis, the town's only cyclist and a man who wore high-vis to weddings. They convened in the village hall under the stern portrait of Ethel Buttercup, founder of Bramblebottom and suspected hoarder of powdered custard. Council Chairwoman Muriel Featherstone stood solemnly at the front with a clipboard, a pencil, and a look that could curdle oat milk. "We have a crisis," she began. "This village is on the brink of societal collapse. Brenda threw a hard roll at a vicar this morning because she couldn't Google a scone recipe." "I regret nothing," Brenda whispered from the back. Muriel cleared her throat. "We must fix the Wi-Fi, but our only IT specialist moved to Swindon in 2014 after the incident with the barcoding machine." Everyone nodded solemnly. The barcoding debacle was still spoken of in hushed tones, like a haunting or an unfortunate Eurovision performance. Enter Kevin. Kevin Butterworth was 37, lived with his mum, and was last seen wearing a hoodie that said, "I paused my game for this." He had once installed a printer in under 11 minutes and was widely believed to possess dark tech magic. Muriel found him in the co-op buying Monster Energy and crisps shaped like dinosaurs. "We need your help," she said. Kevin blinked slowly. "Will there be biscuits?" At 3:45 p.m., Kevin arrived at the green with his toolkit, a backpack covered in stickers and half a sandwich. He examined the main router, a dusty beige box mounted near the cricket pavilion and inexplicably guarded by 2 ducks. He frowned. Someone's unplugged it and stuck a spoon in the USB port. The villagers gasped. "That's not even where a spoon goes," Daphne wailed. "I blame millennials." Brenda hissed. I am a millennial, Kevin replied. Exactly, Brenda snapped. Within 30 minutes, Kevin had repaired the router using a screwdriver, duct tape, and 2 mints. He pressed the final button with the ceremony of a nuclear launch. The light blinked green. The ducks quacked in approval. A cheer rose across the village as phones lit up like fairy lights. Daphne's TikTok updated. Elspeth finally transferred £42 and 17 pence to her scarf emergency fund, and Brenda uploaded 37 photos of people who looked suspiciously non-local. To celebrate, the village held a spontaneous Internet Appreciation Festival. There were online quizzes projected onto the side of the butcher's van, an email reading tent for the elderly, and even a live-streamed dance-off between Nigel and a woman dressed as a browser cookie. Spoiler, the cookie won, easily. As the sun set over the hills, Bramblebottom returned to its peaceful self. Kevin was awarded the Order of the Wi-Fi spoon, a plastic spoon on a string, and the router was relocated to a secure box labeled "Do Not Poke." Muriel sighed contentedly. Brenda went home to gossip anew, and Barry at the pub raised a final pint to signal the end of the great disconnect. And so, dear listener, the Wi-Fi returned, the scones were baked, and the ducks reclaimed their post by the router, ever vigilant. Remember this, in the darkest of times, when the internet falters, sometimes all you need is Kevin, a spoon, and a very determined village. If you enjoyed this tale of pixelated panic and heroic IT action, give us a like, drop a comment, and remember to always keep a biscuit nearby, just in case.